You brought up Ciara. Last time we were out here, the remix with Ciara.
That's
we were
right.
hanging out, had just came out. And you were catching quite a big backlash.
I just want to put that out there. I know it's controversial, but what I'm getting at is, man,
Ruslan.
You brought up Ciara. Last time we were out here, the remix with Ciara.
That's
we were
right.
hanging out, had just came out. And you were catching quite a big backlash.
Huge backlash, yeah.
As was she. Now that you've had a year removed from that situation, have you reflected about it? Do you think some of the backlash was warranted?
Yeah.
For folks who didn't know, Hulvey put out a remix of Altar with Ciara, which I thought was a fire remix, by the way.
Thank you, bro.
I remember I was with you in the car. I was like getting meticulous about the tweaks in the mix. I was on my own
Yeah.
OCD, if you will, right? Like, what about this? Is the vocal take different? And but I thought it was a great remix. And then some people had concerns, I guess, because
the low vibrations line.
the low
People were
vibrations
concerned
line,
about
that's
it.
right, the low vibrations line, and then just kind of some of her overall presence on social media, and her background.
Yeah.
Now that you're removed, and by low vibrations, people associate that with New Age.
Yes, they were hearing that
paradigm.
and saying this is New Age. That's what they heard.
Yeah.
For me, here's my plain heart on the Ciara situation. It hasn't changed too much. Is, bro, when I got on the phone with her heart was, I just want to use what I have to give God glory and to use this as an opportunity to give him praise. That's what I want to do. And I thought that was a very, like, what's the word? Like honorable or valiant effort to be like, yo, I want to use all that I've had to give glory and praise to Jesus right now in my career. I want to just take a step out and let them know I love Jesus. For me, I did not feel like I was supposed to go in and over-examine every last thing she's done. I saw this more as an opportunity, not just for ministry outwards, but for her to have a space to share. That was like my heart with the Altar remix. I wanted to give an artist a space to share their faith, like how Jelly Roll did with Brandon Lake. It's the same thing to me. And so that was my heart. And she still to this day is so excited about it and wants to make more music and just loves the Lord.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's my heart on it, bro. I think when people heard the low vibrations thing, I saw why they got upset, because they heard a term that if you're to put it up against what people use that term for, it's like, what the heck? People thought it was counter, like God. What I heard when I heard that genuinely was a different context. I heard that as, oh, she's trying to get away from low vibrations, like protect me from this. I heard it different when I heard it that way. I didn't hear it as her like co-signing those things. I heard it like, protect me. You protect me from that. And I heard it as that was her context of how she said it.
Yep.
Not, this is what I soak in and believe. No, keep me away from these things. I want you. And so I heard it differently.
Got you.
Genuinely. So that's my heart on the Ciara thing, bro. And yeah, I mean, shout out to Russell Wilson too. He showed a lot of love and always is using his platform to glorify the Lord too. So
yeah.
I'm thankful for it, bro.
Yeah, they've shown you a lot of love and shared the record and all that.
Even
sort of
since, man, like with True, when I put out True, they loved the song and would use it, and she's reached out to me about making more music. So
stuff. Yeah, I think it's tough because I think as a creative person, I hear what you're saying and I go, oh, I totally understand, because I understand the opportunity of evangelism in creative work.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I think if you're not a creative, you don't get that. Meaning that if I have a conversation with someone that's not a Christian, if I have a conversation with someone that's struggling in their faith or is a newer Christian, there's so much opportunity for relationship. There's so much opportunity for ongoing process of helping them in their journey, that I think if you don't understand creative people, that does not make sense to most people, right? And so it's like sometimes the point of a collaboration is not to make the most theologically sound piece of media, right? It's to build rapport. It's to let them share their story. It's to let them glorify God in the way they can in this moment. Right?
Yes.
Now, here's the flip side of this. The flip side of this is people look to me and look to you not as creatives, podcasters, YouTubers, rappers, singers, content creators. They're looking at
leaders
us. Leaders in the faith. So now they're not seeing, oh, Hulvey is building relationship with this young lady and her husband, and they're on their own journey. They're seeing it as Hulvey is running a church, and this Sunday the guest speaker is Ciara,
and she has, and
she's talking about low vibrations and New Age.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't contextualize it that well,
yeah.
but yes.
Yeah. And I think that's a fair. I understand.
I get
how
it. No,
people come
I
to
know.
those
I get it.
conclusions.
I get it.
Yeah.
Actually, I get why people are going to see it that way.
Yeah.
If that's the vantage point that they view me at.
Yes.
But I always want to remind people the way that Jesus led too. And Jesus was very intentional about highlighting everyone's need for God. Everyone's. And I think that's what the remix did, was highlight that, hey, Ciara, who some of you Christians might have a problem with, she wants and loves the Lord and is trying to use this opportunity to tell him that she loves him and she needs him.
Yeah.
And bro, I want to share this about that song. When people ask me, Hulvey, what's your thoughts on the Altar remix? Like, what's your thoughts on it, bro? I say, I've never had a song that reached more family members than Altar remix. Never.
Your own family members?
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of my in-law family
Huh.
would be like, yo, that's so dope, bro. And then they were bought into my music. And now we have more conversations. And it's really dope.
Yeah.
And I've never seen more of an impact than when that happened.
Yeah.
So spiritually, I'm also getting a different viewpoint. Everyone has a different viewpoint. So I understand yours if you had a problem with it. And listen, I love you guys. And I'm here to glorify the Lord in everything I do. But just know people have been touched and people are impacted and God's moving.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. I think of you mentioned Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
And Brandon Lake. I think of Chandler Moore and Will Smith. We just reacted to the Craze pod with Will Smith.
Yes.
And we were
saw
watching
some clips. I haven't watched the whole thing yet.
Yeah. We were watching it and we were torn because like Will come really close and then would drop kind of like a new age thing on us, right? And I'm like, as a fan of Will Smith, I understand the position that Lecrae is in because he's trying to probably work on a long-term relationship, right?
Yes.
But then as a fellow dude in the faith, like when I sat down with Tyrese, Bible in hand, I'm making sure you're getting this word, right? Like I needed to drive home that point with Tyrese because of some of the controversies and some of the
That's right.
things around Tyrese. Like I needed to make sure to drive that point. And so I think, but that's me though. Like not everyone I can't expect that of everybody,
Sure.
And so it's like if Chandler's doing a song with Will Smith and it seems like he's on a journey towards Jesus and he's trying to nudge him along in that direction. If Lecrae is sitting down and trying to nudge him along in this direction, we want either a like clear proclamation and a repentance and like get away from the syncretism and combining New Age with Christianity and all this weird stuff you're doing. Or we want a like unapologetic redirection and rebuke in the content of said thing. And I understand, but I don't know if people understand that that's not how relationships and that's not how making stuff together works.
It's also not how a relationship with Jesus works. That's the problem. Is that there's a lot of Christian artists who are the most unashamed artists on their platform who don't know God. So that's sobering, hard to hear. Some people's icons might not know God.
Okay, you got that's a very controversial thing you just said.
That's right.
You got to unpack that. You're saying there are Christian artists right now that people know, that have massive influence in the Christian world, and you're saying that they from
there
your
might
vantage
be
point,
some that don't know him.
that don't
I'm
know-
not saying I'm out here knowing him personally.
Yeah.
If you read the word, the top religious leaders were in full rebellion to God and actually the way their hearts were. And they were in full rebellion to their own Savior who looked them in their eyes and they rejected him. I think the same thing takes place in Christian music all the time. And so I just want to put that out there. I know it's controversial, but what I'm getting at is, man, I want to be able to make sure that I'm viewing this from a heart level, not a perception level. Lord, didn't I sing hit platinum records in your name?
Yeah.
Depart from me.
Yeah.
I never knew you. That's what I'm getting at. It's hard to say, but the reality is that we have to we have to know him.
Yeah.
We have to walk with him.
Yeah.
And I'm not out here putting accusations on artists.
No,
I'm
no,
getting
no.
at the idea that, hey, if it's possible for a pastor, if it's possible for the Pharisees, it's possible for Christian artists. Don't get it twisted. I think a lot of fans are aware of that. You meet people that actually come to your shows and go, hey, I just wanted to meet you, so I made sure what my prerequisition of you is the same. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I think that's.
So I hope you hear my heart on that. I'm not coming at your favorite Christian artists. Like, for example, I went on
I
tour.
like how you cleaned that up. That was
I went
real
on
smooth.
tour with Brandon Lake and Phil Wickham.
Yeah.
Loved the Lord.
those guys are dudes.
Inspired the heck out of me.
Yeah.
They're the real deal.
Yeah.
They actually made me go, dang, CCM World got some really Jesus-loving dudes.
Phil is local to here. I know Phil.
Amazing
He's a good
guy.
dude. He's a
So that's
great
what I'm
guy.
getting at is I'm not throwing any like, oh, what about this person? Not to create speculation, but to create the realization that it could be happening.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah. And ultimately, this is what I think. I think how Christian artists can serve themselves to make sure that they aren't conflating that is in having long form conversations like this. Because even though your music can give you doses of who you are, there's nothing like sitting down and hearing Hulvey for an hour share his heart.
You're going to hear the raw truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I ain't going to be perfect, but bro, I love the Lord. And I think without talking about it, all you're hearing is some singing. You know what I mean? Had plenty of moments where I was singing at church, you're singing worship songs, you go home and you're dry. So yeah, I think it's very important to hear from the artist.
Yeah.
I think media is huge. But I'm about to go on George Janko. I'm about to share my heart on there.
Let's go. That's
These things are needed.
Yeah.
Like what y'all do is needed, bro, and it's appreciated on our side.
Yeah.
I feel like I want people to know my heart more. I haven't done a lot of interviews recently, and it's time. So
why wait until this entire thing premieres on YouTube? Why not sign up for a free 7-day trial of our Patreon community and see this entire interview, as well as all of our interviews, early before they hit the public. And you'll also get access to the extended version of our conversations that are sometimes a little too spicy for YouTube. All right, so head on over to Patreon. Link is in the description or pinned comment. Here's a little preview of what's available on Patreon.
Here's my plain heart on the Ciara situation. It hasn't changed too much.
God told me just to do this ministry thing.
God told me I'm going to blow up.
God told me I'm going to blow up. God told me to start a YouTube. God told me to start a podcast. So I'm quitting my job and I'm doing it. And that's not how it's worked for anybody.
No, I was broke. I got into this very young, 20 years old. So it's like, I think it's a normal music industry revelation of, oh, okay, it's the industry. Went on a mission trip to Memphis, Tennessee. And on that trip, I saw a man with 6 infused vertebrae in his back on the first day of the trip.
You were a Christian, but you're listening to Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would wrestle with that.
Yeah.
Help me understand how you navigated that.
Ruslan.